Using calypso and Indian rhythms in the early 70s, he came up with Soca, the soul of calypso. This Wednesday, upfront and personal with the legendary Lord Shorty, now Ras Shorty I. Relive the birth of Soca as we journey from Lingua Village in Princestown to the world stage and then to the forest in Piparo. Ras Shorty I, upfront and personal this Wednesday 9 p.m. to midnight on Hot Caribbean Temple 105 FM, the station for all generations.
Caribbean tempo, tempo, Caribbean tempo. For sports #1, news reports #1. Tempo, Caribbean tempo, tempo, Caribbean tempo. Tune in to enjoy the authentic McCoy. Tempo, Caribbean tempo. For chunky, soca, reggae, salsa. Caribbean tempo, tempo, Caribbean tempo. It's ring back, rapso, steel pan, kaiso, tempo, Caribbean tempo. There's no denial, so don't touch your dial.
Well, it's 3.5 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you, Fazir. This is your source for sports and culture, 7 by 24 by 366 in 1996. Full-time loving of our culture. It's a Wednesday, and we are upfront and personal with the elder statesman of soca, the father of soca, the former Short G, the former Lord Shorty, now Ras Shorty I. Garfield, welcome to Hot Caribbean Tempo.
Nice being here, Prof. Nice being here.
What we'll be doing for the next 3 hours, we'll be going through the music from 1963 to 1996. The emphasis will be on the music, and twice or so an hour, your chance to ask that burning question you always wanted to of Shorty, to be upfront and personal, one-on-one with Shorty. We'll be concentrating on the music, chatting with Garfield Blackman from 1963 to 1996. So you know where we're going to start. 1963.
Anytime I meet a girl, I just make she to understand. I don't play up with my love, I am a jealous man. I ain't making no joke at all, they have to keep in line. Because I ain't skylarking with no man of mine. If they want to be with me, they just have to know that I have 16 commandments for no man to follow. No must have no other man but me. Thou must never ask me for no money. If thou see me and the next young lady in a conversation, pass me straight like you and see me, let me run my own man. All these young girls today, man, I eating talk. Always smiling with some saga, boy, as the man turn their back. If you don't pull up on them, they will give you hell. That is why I make my commandments for them Jezebel. If they can't stick to the laws, I give them to follow. Don't hesitate and charge, just pack up your things and go. Thou must never put on no tight dress. Thou must never talk no kind of slackness. And if the only dress that thou wearing falling off of your skin, don't waste your time to ask me for none, Shorty, here I am. If you don't act strict with them, they will turn you a fool. As they see you playing soft, they call you a mama fool. But with me, no man can't get on so at all. As you see the slip or the slide is all kick and I fall. I kick them and busting up the face, I ain't showing no mercy. You must realize it's one boss in the house and that is me. Thou must come to me whenever I call. And when I say shut up, don't even whisper at all. Thou must realize that I am one man to be free as the breeze. But if you want to go to the lava tree, ask for permission, please. If you feel I lie to you, just ask me girl Angela. Before we met, she was a beauty, now she face worse than a monster. Anytime I talk to a girl, she only quarreling. And as soon as I reach home, I teach her she discipline. I mean, she had a talking to a man, I couldn't take this provocation. I kick she and cuff she up, but so is only then she know. Thou must do as I say, but not as I do. Thou must never let no man touch you. If thou do these things behind my back, you might get off easy. Just make sure the cash you collect split between you and me.
From 33 years ago, the then Lord Shorty, the 16 Commandments. Garfield, that song started your recording career.
Yeah.
Recording career. But that song comes with a history. You performed that several times.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I did that in 1961 in my first Calypso competition in Princeton and lost the competition. Mm-hmm. And in 1963, I went back with the same song and I won.
But isn't that strange?
Well, what happened is that in 1963, I won the South Calypso Crown. So the judges, obviously in Princeton, couldn't believe that I would come in a competition like Princeton competition and fail to win. So they just, naturally gave me the crown. The audience was very displeased because a lot of people knew that I sang it in 1961. But it was a nice experience for me.
I see. Did Maestro compete with you somewhere?
Yes, Maestro was very popular that year. As a matter of fact, everybody felt that he should have won.
Could you remember what he sang?
No, I can't remember. And the prize was a abandoned jersey. I see it for some years. I think $100.
Okay. We're talking about the music, but just a brief thing. Tell us about the early days in Lengua, as brief as possible, before we continue with that early days.
Lengua, it began for me early as 7 years old with my guitar, practicing and learning to play the guitar from 7 years old. And later on, with Pan, I was a pan man. I used to tune and arrange. I had a band called the Southern Alomites. And from then, I began singing Calypso. I was playing the guitar. I was accompanying Calypsonians before I began singing. I started singing somewhere around 1958.
58.
Yeah, at the Lengua Youth Movement.
So after winning the Princeton Calypso King Crown, opportunities came your way to actually make a record.
Yeah, I was offered to do this recording with Chelco Recording Company in 1973. And
1963.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
1963, and I did my first recording then.
Can you remember the flip side? 16 Commandments.
Tribute to Capildale.
Tribute to Capildale. Well, last, have you heard of Tribute to Capildale?
For a long time. I can't remember the words.
But listen and enjoy.
All right.
I am very, very glad I could tell you flat for Dr. Rudran, and I am glad, so glad you must understand for the leader of the opposition. Well, I know for you what I'm feeling proud. So let me tell you very bold and loud, the way I glad my belly does fine to know we have such great sons of the sun. But then all over England they couldn't get a man of his capability. They had to come to the west to find a man of the best to go to their university. So they contact the leader of the opposition, our own mathematician. Don't mind me, nation is small, bet you dollar, we have a more better. Although it's a temporary assignment, that shows he is intelligent because the man who taught him has already died. And they search for a man very far and wide. Well, when they search and they tired look, they had to find up the copy by the hook and the crook. And now we going to come back soon. Now we hope they send him back here in June. Imagine all over England they couldn't get a man of his capability. They had to come to the west and find a man of their best to go to their university. So they contact the leader of the opposition, our own mathematician. Don't mind we nation is small, bet you dollar we never call at all. Just all I could remember on the eve of his departure, he spoke to us on the radio. This he said, before he go, he appealed to the children of this good nation. Don't judge others, live as human. His speech will be memorable, even told us we shall never. Imagine all over England they couldn't get a man of his capability. They had to come to the west to find a man of the best to go to their university. So they contact the leader of the opposition, our own mathematician. So you see without any fun, we nation is second to anyone. I must tell you as a Trinidadian, I am proud of our nation. I'm very, very glad you must understand. Even though we could assist England, although we are very small inside, we strong, intelligent and wise. But now we stand up brave and bold among all the great nations of the world. Because all over England they couldn't get a man of this capability. They had to come to the west to find a man of their best to go to their university. So they contact the leader of the opposition, our own mathematician. Let us pray to the Almighty to produce more men like Dr. Kapi.
Garfield, listening to these early selections, maybe one can guess who you pattern your style to.
Yeah, I was a Sparrow clone. I loved Sparrow in those days, and everything Sparrow did I tried to do. You know, until somewhere along the line I decided I wanted to be me. And I started looking for myself within the whole musical structure.
Okay. After winning the Princestown Crown and recording the 16 Commandments in tribute to Capital Day, did open doors to you at Calypso 10?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, that very year, Sil Taylor was the manager of Sparrow Young Brigade, sent for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't go. I decided I was going to stay in South and build Calypso in South.
Oh, the Sil Taylor sent for you and you didn't go?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you see, a lot of things went down there too. You know, I mean, you used to hear a lot of stories about Sparrow, you know, not nice things. Mm-hmm. So I decided I don't want a part of North. I'm going to stay in South.
Right. What is the Southern Brigade?
Yeah. I stayed down there, and I was victimized that year, 1964, because I went to the committee with a couple of Calypsonians to look for a little increase for the Calypsonians, because we used to get $200 for the crown. So when I went, I told them, well, look, we would like to get a little more money for the prize, you know, and they thought, well, look, I'm trying to create problems. So when the night of the competition, I came third, even though everybody felt that I came first.
Oh, I see. And in those days, the beauty contest, the Carnival Queen got a car.
Right.
Right. So there was some kind of disparity
So
there.
we're looking for money, you know, and $200 was very poor, you know.
But from 63, having started recording, you never looked back. 64,
No,
Cloak and Dagger, Hairless, Go Naked in the World, and that same year, why did we have the part and female opposition?
Right. I remember female opposition, but you know, I can't remember Hairless and them songs at all. You have those records?
Well, we have some because of the time constraint. But maybe some more listeners would like to hear female opposition. And remember, think about that question you like to ask Shorty coming up twice per hour. We'll be opening the lines for a couple of minutes. And we're also expecting to hear from Mohan Jaikaran, Jamaica Crazy Records, JMC, who will be honoring Garfield Blackman for pioneering soca two Saturdays from now at the Indo-Caribbean Awards. Hot Caribbean Tempo 105 FM, we are upfront and personal with Garfield Blackman.
forming a new party as men to succeed the opposition. Shorty forming a new party to replace the DLP. With this plan I cannot fail. All my candidates will be debated. And when I'm done finalize my plan, I could never lose the next election. You see, sunshine is the secretary. Sonia and Molly are the committee. No one here. Chelsea is my lecturer, Loreen is a floor member. I intend to be the treasurer. For election in Soukabad, I taking candidates from Asia. I put in my cross and Idaho to beat Sahid and Montano. I want Shuri the belly dancer, for Sinan and Simaria. All my supporters would be glad when Broadbell Fishamada in Faizabad. My sunshine is my secretary, Sonia and Molly on the committee. Everyone is collecting and country. Chelsea is the lecturer, Loreen is a floor member. I intend to be finance minister. In Tobago, I'll perform a speech. With and black for to win the seat. This is song another place. Short and Monica, Jean and Grace. For me, arrogant, big and hero. I think she to fight up the campaign. Dorothy for Naparima. No one Suki no say, Mr. Speaker, sir. You see, sunshine, Mr. Secretary. Sonia and Molly on the committee. No one here collecting and hey, Chelsea is my lecturer. Loreen is a floor member. I intend to be the tax collector. In the city, I have no fear. Norma Fisher is for Senator Pierre. Bobo Lumsy going for Pat Solomon. Marabunta Jean for O'Halloran. The preacher sorry for Tisha. Constant taking she seat away. But I've been south of plenty work. I bring in Chris and Keeler to fight it up. My man, the president. Militants will be making up on friends. Committee of Improvement. Chelsea is the lecturer. Loreen is a floor member. And Shorty will be the new prime minister.
Well, Garfield, I would really like you to share things around because you took the lion's share there.
Well, Minister of Finance and Prime Minister, obviously, I mean, that's the best position to be when you get in a female position.
Yes. These are the recordings. How successful were they? Did they at least cover cost? Did they make a nice profit?
Well, I didn't record them. They were done by a record company called Telco.
I see.
So for me, it was like getting my $75 up front, and that for me was great. And I mean, in 1963, a young fella getting $75 is big money.
You didn't record in 65?
I probably could have, I couldn't. I can't remember. I could have done probably one of those songs, Belchin,
trying to figure out the years.
Yeah.
It's a pity that in those days they didn't put on the label the actual recording date.
I started doing that somewhere around 1964.
Yeah. Okay, but 1966 is a landmark year in terms of local music. And for those of you who are trying to figure out why in 1996 they could have an Indo-Caribbean award, I'm telling you that it started in 1966.
But I want to take you back beyond that,
Okay.
In 1958, my first calypso was a calypso based upon Indian tradition. I didn't record it. It was called Long Mango, or Mango Long. I used Indian rhythms in that time, but I wasn't a recording artist, so that just passed away. And then I did it in 1966.
66. So tell us about that 66 record.
Well, the idea was to unite the Indians and the African together. Obviously, the ideas that I had, I wanted to put into the music. I couldn't because I wasn't spending the money. The other producer, and in those days, you do what the producer said to do. But my idea was to use Africans and East Indian rhythms in that musical structure, but it didn't work out that way.
So that 66 record, Indian Singers Gone for Hire, where for or less our listeners can prove otherwise, the first time a calypso was released with serious East Indian influence.
Yeah.
you think that led to your 70s?
Oh yes,
Definitely.
definitely. As I said, I began in 1958. In 1958, I began doing my experiment, not knowing exactly what I was doing, but just the desire to do something that came out of me, because I mean, my whole environment was a East Indian African environment, you know, African person, or Afro-Trinidad person among a whole lot of Indians, you know, and that's where the whole desire for Indian music came on.
From 1966, Indian singers gone for hire.
Come again, come alive. Jai Sekirati Patia, Howl again, Patia. These Indian singers gone so higher, day by day, they're getting better. All these Indian singers gone so higher, day by day, they're getting better. Long time when an Indian singing, he would stand over being rolling, but now they change entirely. Used to hear them with a sweet, sweet melody. My Tell me when last you hear or see an Indian singer singing a tune. Most of them don't know where they come to. It's only Indian rhythm and blues and calypso. Christmas carol as well. They even have an Indian jingle bell. 5 o'clock as you wake up in the morning, Sharon Bastard on the radio singing. That's so Parawana, oh Nabiwana, make it Sahi Dilakya. Tony Rahe, Amki Haibahe, Kamki Seman Dilakya. On the radio, it's more Indian song than calypso. You can even hear Clarence Covan, all days tuned by now Jawan. Don't be surprised if you hear it then. They open my Indian calypso. I'm finding up with them right after Carnival. I'm sending it to the mighty Jazoo Fridwell. And I'm singing, Akela, oh man. Akela, oh man.
Indian singers gone for hire. Lord Shorty from 1966. Listening to this song so many years later, it must be quite refreshing.
Yeah, it certainly is. Yeah, you know, look back at the origin of a whole lot of things. It's like history, you know, going back in history, and it's wonderful for me to be a part of this experience tonight.
Okay, well, before we open the phone lines for a couple of callers, I have another little surprise for you. I'm sure you'll remember this.
All who want to play criminal and thief, don't let me see. I would run and inform the police chief immediately. All who think they're able, or who feel they're so terrible, touch me if you feel I'm making joke. Was me dagger always underneath me clothes? Da-da-da-da, them criminal in the place is really a damn disgrace. I see them criminal in the tongue,
Can't remember this song. On my committee. Sonia, Sunshine is my secretary. Sonia and Molly on my committee. Meadow and Elaine collecting entrance fee.
Garfield.
Oh, Lord, I can't remember them songs at all.
Yes. A little teaser of Cloak and Dagger and Female Opposition.
Cloak and Dagger in 1964 almost made the road march in Trinidad and Tobago.
Almost.
Yeah, almost. I mean, it was so popular. You know, most of the other bands from Port of Spain, All Stars, I remember, played it for the Panorama, and I almost got through with it, you know.
Okay, this is your first of several chances to be upfront and personal, one-on-one with Garfield Blackman, the former Short G, Lord Shorty, and now Ras Shorty I. 628-6118, all we're asking is to make your contribution as brief as possible so we can play as much of the music as possible and accommodate quite a few callers. Hot Caribbean Tempo 105 FM, we are upfront and personal with Garfield Blackman. Good evening.
Hello.
Yes, man, you're here. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. I'm enjoying this month.
All right.
Yeah, because I was a supporter of you.
Was?
I was a supporter of you, Lord Shorty.
Well, you see, you say was like you're not supporting me anymore?
No, not a matter of that. I was I used to support you, yeah, really, but not as before, eh?
All right.
That is what I mean to tell you.
Okay.
At Seaman and Waterfront, that was the last time I saw you in a tent.
All right.
With Kitchener, I believe it was Kitchener
No,
or Sparrow.
Sparrow.
Yeah. And you had the audience in stitches with I wouldn't describe it now.
Okay.
But you should know what I'm speaking about.
Did you say so?
Huh?
Okay, thank you for calling.
All right, bye. Thank you.
Okay, brother.
Upfront and personal with Garfield Blackman, the elder statesman of soca, the father of soca. And we're upfront and personal, and we will be playing for you closer to midnight some of the songs that is causing quite a stir with the young soca generation. We'll be talking about that. Good evening. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, I'm listening to the program,
All right.
and I love the program very much.
Great, sir. I'm glad you're out there listening.
I have enjoyed the Lord Shorty one, but especially this song nowadays where you make, and you say about how these fellas doing like
Latin singers.
like Blue Boys,
All
Latin
right.
singers. That's a calypso I enjoy.
Good.
And you always be eyeball man. And you see the old song what I'm now listening here?
Yeah.
I'm sorry I didn't have that tape to retape them. I don't say it so.
We're going to talk to Cut.
Because I enjoyed it very well.
All right.
And I'm listening, man. Keep up the good works, man.
Take care,
Okay.
brother. God bless
I'm
you.
listening this whole program tonight.
All right. God bless you.
Thank you. One final call before we get back into the music, looking at 1969. Upfront and personal on Hot Caribbean Tempo 105 FM, Garfield Blackman. Good evening.
Hello,
Hi.
good evening.
Good.
I am enjoying the program and I can really understand what you are saying in the latrine singers because the song from 63 that explains something about the opposition who went, apparently he was a mathematician or something and he had to go to England. That is education.
All right.
And I hope the younger Californians listening and they could understand with the wine and jam, they could make something sensible as you say. So we could understand what went on in the 90s.
Right.
Because right now we can't understand what's going on because they're not
Well,
recording
that's,
anything
that's,
else.
that's what's going on now. Wine and
Yeah.
jam and jump and wave and play.
Two tunes played from the 60s and I learned a lot already.
All right.
Right?
Okay, but
Thanks
stay
for
tuned and
calling.
before midnight you will learn a lot more.
Okay, I will.
God bless you.
Okay, bye.
Well, it's 28 minutes on the upswing to 10 o'clock. We are keeping you company all the way to the Cinderella Hour. Upfront and personal with Garfield Blackman.
When a man have a daughter and he reached the age of 51, the pressure he would give them young fellas, you would feel he was never young. And he would act like a man who mind a racehorse from small. Not a soul he wore right at all. And as a young man visit his home, the boy is faced with a question. Young man, Come, what is your intention? This time me daughter face greasy like a Friday, she shine like the slate, she hairy like a yam, and under she yam smell like a one-cook ham, sometimes worse than a poultry farm. The girl skinny and dry, she have cross eye, she looking stupid and dumb, and when she opens she mouth to smile, she have in top and bottom flavor gum. La 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 la. Hey. They will go out of their way to prove their daughter is an innocent girl. Some of them so bold-faced to say their daughter is untouched by the world. Her capabilities they would advertise in detail. Some of them fans fathers should be sent to jail. I'm making a prediction, don't doubt me. One day soon, I thought I might tell you the good things to expect on your honeymoon. This time the daughter just flat like a fried. She has her foot and bandy leg. She here refused to go. And anywhere she goes, she got it in cane and she mouth fight like a young go-go. The girl like the line, she get raped at times by some men going out for joyride. But as you reach home, she part with a smile from inside and in her mouth, here comes the bride. They always know your game and they quick to call you your hooligan. Oh no, you wouldn't spoil my daughter's name. Come better than that young man. Then he will watch you fix in your eyes and he will tell you, look here boy, I never kissed my wife until the day we said I do. But when he reached on the road with his friends, he could hear him brag. When I was young, nobody could make me by Captain Bag. This time this captain, if you want to touch your daughter, you must go to the altar without knowing which is straw for she had. But this is Trinidad, you can't back that. If you're married and you're sample, you're mad. You go and marry a young lady, you know one thing about she. And the first night you see she body, she look like a car empty, stripping her body, and then lick off half the chassis. Oh Lord, Lord. Most of these fathers up to now, they ain't understand. They only run into young fellas and their daughters will become old maids on their hand. Now if your daughter appearance ain't brightening up your home, when you see she become a man, daddy, you leave them alone. Because we young men today, we realize as a man start to advertise, something wrong with the merchandise. Is it that little foot leg and flat or she have both back or she face manufacturing bottle? She legs like 11 and she shapes blooms like she get up all on a sudden. Or she have a shape like power, plenty hair like Vita with fat legs like Lord Christo, with a face like Brigo and Lord and you must advertise something so.
Garfield growing up in Lengua, was that the experience or was it common to all parts of Trinidad in 1969?
All parts of Trinidad.
Well, there was a certain amount of social commentary there, a bit of narratives, and a lot of humor.
True.
Something that is slowly leaving the art form, the comedy or the humor part of Calypso.
Yeah. I mean, now you only have it in the comedy competition. But
yeah.
it's good to go back to comedy in the Calypsos, to bring back the humor in the songs. I tried to do this in this song, this last piece I make, Latin Singers. I use social commentary, party flavor, humor, you name it. I try to put everything into one calypso, just to show the calypsonian that they can do it too. You can write a good calypso, and still have a party song.
By 69, you were coming closer to what the Lord Shorty in his peak sounded like.
Yeah, I wanted to be me, and somewhere around in 1967, I decided I didn't want to be like Sparrow anymore. I wanted to be Lord Shorty. So I began tapering myself, changing my garments, my outlook, my style of singing and everything. And 1969, you found that I've grown into Lord Shorty.
You know he hate to see potato. They catch the bugger one morning, soon down in Baburam Lagoon, deep in potatoes in a pile, and he moving them out West Indian style. The watchman come up same time, it's now Alex reach the end of the line. When they hit him the first bull whistle, Alexander stand up stiff and straight. When he get the next one, he wriggle, and he ball out wait. When they give him the third one, I never seen nothing so. Man, he spin like a top, he dig out a hole and plant back the potato.
Far from Indian walk, they call him Fred Chicken Hawk. Don't mind how your dog might howl, he could still move out with your fowl. They catch him inside a foul cover night, and will whistle, they hit him black as white. He thought he was a cock, man, he start to crow. He will hear Freddy ballin', Tokyo. When they give him the first full whistle, like a child, he start to beg. The next one was so terrible, he stood down like a fowl and he laid to egg. Man, in all my bull pistol days, I never had so much fun. Freddy gets strong like Samson, he take off the whole foul cover and start to run. San Fernando have a fella inquisitive and fast, always liming by the bypass. If you park your car with your girl at night, man, he heckling you for spite. The police put two dummies in a motor car, and they hide in the bush waiting for the bugger. They catch him red-handed in the act, and Tobias wrap a bull run him back. When they give him the first one, he take off. He run quarter mile and he come back. When he get his second one, he cough, and he start to scream like a maniac. When they about to hit him again, he get paralyzed and he couldn't run. All he do, he bend on his back, he raise his jacket and well, wait, give me another one. They had a strike down in Texaco, where they strike for nobody know. A stubborn old fella they call Sammy and say, "Who I ain't striking at all." Coming down the road on the bicycle, he run into a solid bull pistol. Jump off the bike like a crazy man, and on foot he overtake two truck and a van. When they give him the first one, he whistle and picks up, he feels like melody. The next one was so terrible, something so from down he put immediately. In the heat he run for a snowball by Joe. Joe tell him ice done long ago. He say, "Man, I ain't feeling nice where you're telling me, boys, give me the blooming snowball shot so."
Oh, well, I'm sure many of our listeners will have additional tales of bull pistols to talk about. But Garfield, one thing I wanted, maybe you have first-hand information on this, or at least
No,
information.
this is just humor. I never had an experience of a bull pistol on my back.
But is it true that you need two? The first one will just have you in suspended
Yes,
animation.
yes. So I
and you need a second one.
I've heard that. Right.
Okay, but maybe Sprang and I need to discuss this in a little detail one of these nights. Tales of the Bull Pistol. 1969, a great year. Fat Pants Fathers and Tales of the Bull Pistol. How good did they go down? But
Well, this was a popular, very popular in the church.
very
And
popular.
I'm trying to remember the year, but it just didn't come.
69.
69, okay.
69, yeah.
Fat Pants Fathers and Tears of the Bull Pistol. That was really good for me that year.
In about 10 minutes, we will be opening the line once again, and we ask you, even from now, around 10:15, please do not call us. We are keeping our lines open. We are expecting JMC Records President Mohan Jayakaran to give us a call from the United States at 10:15. So please do not call us at 10:15. We will be accommodating a couple calls before the end of this hour. Remember, we are going all the way up to the Cinderella hour. Ras, Shorty, I, upfront and personal. We are looking at the period 1963 to 1996. It'll be up to 1969. The following year, 1970, you entered a competition, the first King of the World competition.
Yeah. There was a breakaway from the CDC. The Sparrow Young Brigade and a few of the other tents around, they teamed up to form their own competition because of the fact that the Californians were not getting enough money. So they formed this competition called Calypso King of the World, and fortunately I won $2,000, which was, real nice in those days. I went on my second honeymoon in Tobago. First because we never went on the first one. So my wife and I went to spend our honeymoon in Tobago, and that was very good for us.
1970. But that was the only, there was never a second
No.
competition. So it means that you are the undefeated
Yes.
king.
The only Calypso King of the World, don't worry, Sparrow.
And you have a competition and you got $2,000 to prove
I
it.
tell you.
But before we get into another landmark selection from 1973, we need to play for our listeners one more in that from that batch of great humorous calypsos from the late 1960s. And for those of you who enjoyed GB's contribution last year, take a listen to Ras, Shorty I, back then when he was Lord Shorty.
yesterday. Oh, Lord. Well, I went by my partner Lenny and eat boiled shutine in a quantity. Later on the same evening, I find her only belching and belching. I'm so frightened, I'm so down with sweat. So I run home quick to tell me girl Claudette. I say every time I open my mouth, wind only coming out. I say, girl, I know what is going wrong with me now, but every time I talk, I only belching. Oh gosh, girl, I know, what is this? My wife tell me drink plenty water. If that don't stop it, go and see a doctor. So I drink and put the glass back on the shelf. Now every time I belch, I wet myself. I run down quick by Dr. Gray, hoping I meet plenty people there. Doctor, belching all the time. And you know where there is smoke, there is fire behind. I say, doctor, well, I know what is wrong, but I put some shut and only belching. You see what I mean? And it smelling so good. Oh gosh. Quickly, Dr. Gray check me out. He said he waited the short time to stretch me mouth. So he got a large Thomas cock, forced it up in my mouth. Now I could hardly talk. I'm struggling. Doctor, do something quick. So he bore a hole in the cock with an ice pick. I'm still belching, but not a great deal. So Dr. Gray asked me, how you feel? I said, wonderful, doctor. Oh, you say boss. Any time my family is sick, I bring them by you. Oh, well, I stick my hand in my pocket and I pull some cash from out of it. I know if he is $5 already, but playing big shot says, doctor, what is your fee? Doctor, tell me $50, my lad. What? $50? Well, you must be mad. If I could reply, I pull out the cock, man, and out the office I start to walk. $50 for a damn to my flash cock. You mad? Look, all you alright. Look at this man now. Only out of rob people all the time. Look.
Garfield Blackman, then Lord Shorty, Belchin. How fond were you of people like Cypher and Spoiler in those days?
Cypher was my partner. Cypher and I used to go on real good, you know. To me, I think you're one of the greatest calypsos ever. Who's the other calypso?
Spoiler.
I never knew Spoiler.
Never knew Spoiler?
No, I never met Spoiler.
But Cypher was a genius in his own right.
He used to call me his son, because of the kind of calypsos I used to make at the time, very humorous, you know. Every year I would make sure I have a humorous calypso on the shelf.
Do you foresee or long for a time when calypsonians could do that? When they do an album, they have a party song, a commentary, a humorous bit of that?
I believe it will happen. Some of the calypsonians like Duke still do something humorous. Duke packages his albums in like manner. And a few of the other calypsonians, I think, like Stalin, we would find a good package. David Rudder, good package, you know. It would be nice to see younger calypsonians start thinking. Yeah. And my work as an elder in the music scene is to encourage the young calypsonians start thinking. I mean, you have to do calypso, do something interesting, you know.
In a short time as 3 hours, you really cannot play as many of the songs we like to, even play all the early ones. But it's interesting to know that Garfield, you have been a most prolific recording artist way back in '67 when very few calypsonians were making a single record. You recorded at least 7 calypsos 1 year, and several years as early as '64 you had 2 45s out. You always felt that it was important to record?
Yeah, I since I started recording, I had a lot of songs, and the record company would just call me and I would put them down on tape, you know, and for me it was an exciting thing, you know. I still try to do a lot of recording now, not as often as I used to. I try to space them out within a 2-year period. I don't think it's necessary for a Californian to do an album every year, because that is the attitude now, but people don't get enough time to let me dig into your music, so yes. I space mine off every 2 years.
Okay, by early on you alluded to the fact that before you even started singing, you played the guitar for people like Maestro and other calypsonians to do their demos. but by 1970 you were sharing your lyrics with other Calypsonians.
Yes.
Byron, Ella Andel.
Okay. Yeah, Ricky Gibson, the Groovy Millers.
Okay, but tell us about that incident. 1970, that should be when Byron was just about starting out? Or was he around?
Yeah. Byron started in 1971. In 1970, I wrote the song Celia Licking for him. Actually, the song was written for him, but written for me. And I gave him that song to perform.
Oh, I see. It was poking fun on yourself.
No. It was written. I was going to sing the song about Sparrow.
Oh, I see. And you replaced
And I just used Sparrow and replaced it with myself, and I gave it to Byron to sing.
So the drama was should have been Shorty
Sparrow,
on a commentary over Sparrow.
Right.
I see. Well, it really launched and propelled Byron to what he is today. Any regrets of not singing that song for yourself? Have you sung it?
I have never performed it, but I am beginning to think now that when I write songs for people, I need to sing them myself, or at least get other people to sing it.
Sometimes. But people who are now appreciating Ella Andel in 1996 with her Missing Generation and Rhythm of a People, way back in 1970, you already realized, and maybe you're the one who already discovered Ella, and you wrote songs for her from earlier to that.
Yeah.
So, for those of you who think Ella Andel is a 1996 find, way back in 70, she was around. Okay, by 71 you had things like Cat Kissing and Cover, but the important song in that era there in the early 70s, a song that really put, what more or less was a catalyst in making that soca movement a reality in a very short space of time, was 1993 in Drani.
73.
1973 in Drani.
Yeah.
It is so important, the song, we need to take a minute to really hear how Indrani came about and the music and the musician you used. Indrani. It was not the average one, the milk calypsos they were singing at that time.
No, actually, I had this desire to unite Indians and African. I wanted to do a Dogla music, if it's nice to call it that. And I couldn't get the musicians to work along with the Indian musicians. So what I had to do, I went to the studio and I put down Ed Watson's band on 2 tracks, and then I brought in the Indian musicians the following day. We had just begun doing overdubs. We had 4 tracks in those days. And I brought in the Indian musician, Robin Gindial, Tapsil, and some other guy, and we rehearsed the thing, and then we overdubbed the Indian music onto that calypso structure that we had already put down with Indrani, and it was a beautiful combination.
Would you say that was the first time, or as far as you know, that Indian musicians playing Indian instruments were used in a calypso?
Yes.
Indrani from 1973, a landmark selection in the history of Kaiso.
She's so bony, skinny like a whip. 60 years, she's skin wrinkled, but have no fear, she's real trouble. When she come from the lagoon, drink she rum, sing she Indian shoe. I'm in misery, I ain't no award in Hindi. If you hear she, like a real spoiled brat. Baby's love she want, but I feel she too old for that. But the emphasis on the word lay low to me seem to consist some suggestivity. She religious and always clean. here she would be a scene. Lord is puzzling. Here next song in Johnny the scene. People here she Lelo ke bol kaka, ke bol kaka, ke bol kaka. Lelo, lelo ha. I beg she please translate for me. In Granny, oh jeez, you driving me crazy. Woman, what you want? I would like to know. Must be important for you to behave so. She follow beta beta, bunny bunny awela, screaming on she head and insist I get she bunny in bed. Even here she
From 1973, Indrani from Lord Shorty. Garfield, up till 1972, you were quite popular in the tents. What did Indrani in 1973 do for your career?
Well, it launched it in a very big and powerful way. I began touring the United States, Canada, and all those other places after this particular song. If I might say this, this is also one of my second or third production as a record producer, and for me it was like buying my own home and all this type of thing. You know, it was great for me. It was a great year.
The Hindi in there, how comfortable are you with Hindi growing up in Langwa?
Yeah, well, I mean, I used to go next door to my neighbor Narayan every morning and play the dantal while he would play the harmonium, or he would take the dolak and we would sing together. You know, so it was it's part of an experience that was just making itself manifest.
Okay, and 1973 also saw you the March night in the big yard.
Yes. Right. This I was my second finals. I made this finals the first time in 1968, and Duke won. And in 1973, it was all indication that I was going to win the crown. But after I was charged for indecency that night.
Well, tell us a little about that. We understand Dr. Eric Williams, the then Prime Minister, was there, and that night would be a memorable night for you for more than one.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm in the Calypso tent singing this song every night and getting the 7 and 8 and 10 angles. Nobody for a moment told me that this middle finger was supposed to be an obscene sign. I never knew that. So naturally, on the night of the competition, I must put up this middle finger, and there is the Prime Minister
performing the art of making love.
Yeah, at the Damascus, and there is the Prime Minister sitting with the Prime Minister of Jamaica's wife, Michael Manley's wife. And I don't know what went down, but it was the next thing I know that I'm called, why should I be singing this song? And the police commissioner was instructed by the Prime Minister to charge me for indecency.
I see. And what was the outcome of that?
Well, the charges were dropped by the then Attorney General Hudson Phillips. I had no choice.
But after the incident, you didn't regret it because obviously,
no, I use it.
Any publicity.
Yeah, I use it. You know, I use it. It pushed me on to get screen tests and all that in America for movies and all that. You know, it was, I'll say, a wonderful year for me.
2 minutes on the upswing to 10. We'll be opening the lines right now for a couple more callers. 628-6118. Your chance to chat one-on-one, upfront and personal with Garfield Blackman, Ras, Shorty I. We're going all the way to the Cinderella Hour. Good evening.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, good afternoon,
all
Mr.
Right.
Blackman.
All right, brother.
This is a nice night. I wish you had program 1 and program 2. I want to listen to more calypsos.
Well,
Listen, Indrani is the best calypso that, in my opinion, they produced during that time.
okay.
It was Lord Shorty.
Right.
Tell your wife good night, and the art of making love. I wish the radio could play it.
Okay, well, we don't have a problem with it. It's just that this evening, because there are so many songs, we may not play it. But maybe next week we'll give it a play for you.
Okay.
We don't have a problem with it from our end.
All right, no problem.
Okay, but because of our time constraint, and we needed to get through as many years as possible.
Yeah, I realize that. I hope you have part 2 in it too. All right.
Unfortunately, though.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
Well, Garfield, as a society evolves and develops, certain things that were banned once commonplace now, and some of those
I don't know if we can use the word develop, I don't know. That's a strange thought, because, I mean, the things that were banned 10 years ago is freely played now. Yeah. I don't know if we can call that a development. It might be a regression.
Well, good evening.
Hi.
How are you going, my brother?
Everything all right? Short up, man.
Hi there.
You know who this is?
Not really. I ain't catch the voice yet.
This is Gypsy.
Hey. Winston, how you going?
Everything all right, man?
All right, nice.
I hear listening to you.
How's your family?
Everybody fine.
Let's go, get them a love.
Yeah, we'll do it. Listen, Marv listening to you.
All right. Marv, how you going?
She all right. She right in the corner there.
All right.
So how you doing? Everything good?
Yeah, brother.
Well, listen, I'm kind of reminiscing here myself.
I tell you.
Because we did, in fact, have some good times.
Yes, we certainly did. And I believe that we still will.
Of course.
All
well,
right.
I know that you're high on the list of my friends.
All right.
All right.
Okay, Winston, before you go, any major surprises in some of the selection we uncovered this evening?
No. I am
You're
very...
fluent in all those?
I am
He's
very...
familiar with them all.
I'm very familiar with all of where Shorty work. You know?
Right.
With all of them. Shorty is, he's still is my idol and one of my best friends.
Boy, you mustn't have no man as your idol. You know what happens when you make a man your idol? You become an idolater.
Well, not in that way. not in that way.
God promised to destroy both the idol and the idolater.
No. It's not to that extreme.
All right.
I mean, I still admire you, everything.
All right.
Where you came from, how you was able to pull yourself together, and
I thanks to the Lord Jesus Christ for that.
Right, and I know that.
Yes.
I know that, and I admire that. That's what I mean.
All right.
Right, but you keep it up.
Yeah, but nice of you to
right,
call,
and the ultimate selector. You're doing a good job as usual, man.
Thank you, Winston.
Keep it up.
Okay, good night.
All right.
You're gonna feel in whatever field you have a talent that you're blessed with. It is always nice for your peers to compliment you.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, for me, it's a blessing to get called from Gypsy tonight, and I know that lots of other Calypsonians out there listening. Yeah. I hope I were listening. Iowa.
But what I can tell you is that we need to discuss that with you and with Iowa later on. Well, we just need to do the needful here. 1 hour down, 2 music-filled hours still to come. We are upfront and personal with Garfield Blackman. 1 hour down is just 2 minutes after 10 o'clock. Hot Caribbean Tempo 105 FM. We're 7 by 24 by 366 in 1996. This is full-time loving of our culture.
Tempo, Caribbean Tempo. Chunky, soca, reggae, salsa, tempo, Caribbean tempo, tempo, Caribbean tempo, Caribbean tempo, tempo, Caribbean tempo. Tune in to enjoy the authentic McCoy. Tempo, Caribbean tempo. Chunky, soca, reggae, salsa.
the best thing that has ever happened to me. All my life I have longed for someone like you. Now my dreams have come true. Oh darling, how I wish that you were free.
Well, in case you're wondering, no, your station didn't switch accidentally. You are still up front and personal with Garfield Blackman. Garfield, this is quite different from what you have been accustomed to doing.
Well, I always had a desire to sing something nice and beautiful and sentimental. And I wrote this somewhere around in the early 70s.
Okay, and when the opportunity...
I recorded that in 1973 in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the strings you're hearing, real string, real violin players. And it was a great experience for me to be in the studio with these fellas, you know, putting the strings on, you know. It was real nice.
Loving You, the best thing. The flip side, Gone, Gone, Gone. That album, was it ever released?
No, it was never released in Trinidad, but in Toronto.
Was released?
The album was Gone, Gone, Gone.
I see.
Oh baby, playing.
Spanning the period 1963 to 1996, up front and personal with Garfield Blackman. We're up to the year 1974, a year you had that successful Love Man album.
Yep.
How successful was the Love Man album, and what did it do for you?
The Love Man album was, for me, not financially successful, but it was good. Yeah, in the sense that I did a first Calypso album. This album in Canada was not a Calypso album. It was my desire to express myself on another format. And 1974, the Love Man album was my first Calypso album. And I did more experiments with my soca feelings. As a matter of fact, almost all the songs on this album had the East Indian drum in it, except probably two, How to Prevent Horn and I think the Core of Carnival.
Well, for listeners, we can't play all the songs of this album, but maybe you can tell us some of the tracks.
Kelogi Bulbul, PM Sex Probe.
And that PM Sex Probe, it had to do with...
With the Prime Minister's banning the song. And
the previous year.
Yeah, the previous year, 1973. Mm-hmm. Child Father, Juve, Wonder of the World, How to Prevent Horn, Call of Carnival, Carnival Farewell, Running, and Setting Time.
Setting Time. Years after, people will go back as far as The Love Man and said that was Shorty. Nobody went back to say that was Shorty singing in Granny, or that was Shorty singing Tales of the Bull Thistle. With this album came an image.
Yeah.
And how much did you try to live up to the image of this album?
Too much.
Too much.
Too much. I mean, this almost killed me. It killed me in the sense because not very long after this, Lord Shorty was no more, and Ras Shorty I was born. You know,
Lord Shorty evolved into Ras Shorty.
Yeah, you know.
Metamorphized.
Metamorphosis. To be the Love Man, you have to be actually involved in the attitude of the Love Man, and that was very, very much too much for me. You know, I thank God that He pulled me out of that and make me now a Love Man, but in a different concept.
Yeah. Because if you look at it, in 1973, you exposed to the world that you had the secret of the art of making love.
True.
The following year, you became the Love Man.
Love Man.
So then you had a lot of responsibility there.
Certainly did.
Well, from that album, The Love Man, let's listen to How to Prevent Pop-Up.
Nothing more since I born. A fella asked me if I know how to prevent more. I tell you just so out of the blue, he wants me to advise him what to do. Well, I told him, get a cape like a bullfighter, and when your girl going to meet you, sweet fella, follow she with cape in hand, and wait until you see just walk up to them like a matador and start singing. And if that don't work well, partner, don't mean you say tonight he gon' kill me dead. But instead he start dancing all around the bed, and the fool singing. Well, if I was the sweet man who feeding you, I make sure and see your man get a little snack too. Not for the life of me could I see such a foolish idea working effectively. But after 2 weeks of doing this thing, the man wife really stopped haunting him. So fellas, listen, should you suspect your woman have a man, don't lose your cool and have killed the woman. Instead, run down quick by Annie. Get yourself a cape immediately. Your friends might laugh at you and carry on. For what the hell you care as long as you prevent your harm.
But just looking at that, 73, the art of making love, the image of the loved man, and giving advice how to prevent harm. Garfield Black Man, then Lord Shorty. What is just about 30 minutes after 10, and we will ask you to please call us for the next couple of minutes. We would like to keep the line open, so the president of JMC Records, who will be honoring Garfield Blackman 2 weeks from now at the Indo-Caribbean Awards for his contribution as a soca pioneer. We are hoping to hear from him shortly, so please keep the lines open. Hot Caribbean Tempo 105 FM, we are upfront and personal with Ras Shorty I. And we are up, we started 1963 and we have worked our way up to 1975. 1975, another landmark year where the music and the experimentation from Indrani went one step further, and you explain in song what you were trying to do, Endless Vibrations.
Yeah, actually, the problem at that time was a lot of complaints was coming from the East Indian community and the African community, in the sense that people were saying I was spoiling the calypsos by putting East Indian rhythm in it, and then on the Indian side they were saying I was spoiling the music by messing up, putting calypso in it. So I had to find, I knew that I had something and I had to find a way to express myself. So what I did, I took the rhythm from the dolak and I put it on the drum set. And the rhythm from the dantal, I put it on the triangle. And I changed the whole concept of it. You know, they were still listening to East Indian music mixed with African rhythm, but nobody knew what they were listening to. And that's when I coined the name SOKAH to reflect the mixture of both music, soca.
The lyrics for Endless Vibrations, if you read it, it is more or less a paper on what you were doing there.
Yeah, changing the accent of Carnival.
Hit me home. Change the accent of Carnival to a groovy bacchanal, wailing, expressing the old feeling. Who needs changing? Wake up, people, examine your minds. Get with it, the change of the times. It's a new generation, endless vibrations. Right on. Right on, right on, right on. Le, 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 le. Hit me home. Change your musical structure, make it super sweeter. Tuesday morning when we wailing, bring up this funky feeling. Uptight, uptight, feeling so fine. Come on, come on, come on, let the music take your mind. Get with the feeling, it's so exciting. Right on, right on, right on, right on. Le, 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 le. Le, 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 le. Oh. Come baby, oh baby, jump with me. Come baby, oh baby, romp with me. Why? It's kind of a ride. Live back alive. Right on. A new musical expression to ease today's frustration. Move it, come on, prove it, endlessly, let me feel it. Come on, people, check out the scene. Take a side, the music is me. Can you dig it, brother? Get it all together. Right on, right on, right on, right on. Le, 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 le,
from 1975, the title track from the album Endless Vibrations. Lord Shorty up front and personal. Garfield 1974, Carnival still very seasonal, and in fact, outside of Carnival, the only calypsos they play will be when the party was almost an end. However, Endless Vibration was one of those songs that broke that barrier. And it's played outside of Carnival at all the parties and so on.
Yeah, at that time, unfortunately, we're going back to the same format except for tempo. God bless tempo. You know, I am still disturbed about radio stations not playing calypso right to the air, and I hope that they would wake up to see that we have to love our own first before anybody can love us. You know, and I think tempo is doing a great job in propagating calypso music right to the air. Don't stop. You're going to be number one. If you're not, you certainly will be. Okay,
well, thank you. But Endless Vibrations, the DJs at the house parties and the fests played it outside of Carnival.
Right to the air.
Along the mainstream songs.
Right
one of those songs that crossed over.
Yeah.
Well, we're hoping to get Mo and Jack on the line. Let's see if we have him there now. Hello, good evening.
Good afternoon.
Oh, well, you're up front with Ran Shorty. Hello, yes, you're up front with Ran Shorty.
Good night, Ran Shorty.
How are you doing, my dear?
I'm okay.
All right.
Greetings.
Hi.
Yeah, Shorty, hi.
Yeah, speaking. How are you going, man?
Just cool, man. This is Brother Resistance.
Hey. Masimba.
How you going, man?
Hi there, brother. Nice of you to call.
Yeah, I tuned into you, man. That's lucky. I can't move, you know?
All right.
Yeah, because...
Don't move that dial at all.
It's a serious part of my history and my own personal cultural development, you know?
Praise God.
And when I call you on behalf of the Network Rapsor Rhythm Band.
Okay.
And the entire community.
All right.
You know, I call you for Damali and the family. I call you for the Uprising Culture Shop.
All right.
And all the people who lives you touch in your own personal and simple way, you know? We give thanks for that.
Okay.
And I want the nation to know that you are a crucial man in the development of the Rapsor music.
Yes, it is.
Because you was one of the first men ever teach me techniques and things, you know, in terms of voice control and that kind of thing. I want the nation to know that we used to live East Driver, and first of all come under your house in Marbella for classes, and after that when I went to Paro, we come in the bush and find you.
All right, that's nice.
Yes, and thanks to the entire family.
I'm glad to be a part of the movement of Rapsor and soca.
And all them choruses you sing on the early records and thing, man. You and your family, enough respect.
All right.
God bless all
God
you.
bless you, brother.
Okay, thank you, Brother Resistance, and all the best in the upcoming Rapso week.
Yes, we're looking forward to the Raps on Rapso night as well, right?
Yes, brother.
Okay.
I'm going to be there.
Stand for, man.
Yeah, man.
And to our listeners, stay tuned. I'm sure you will be hearing the Rapso side of Gaffy Blackman coming up.
A new musical expression to ease today.
Tempo, good evening.
Good afternoon. Good night.
Good night.
DJ Mamu, don't ever stop. I have a crown for you. You recognize the voice?
Well, as soon as I see him, I'll tell him, DJ Mamu.
Well, you don't have to pull it here. Anyhow, Shorty,
Yes.
Om Shanti
Uh-huh.
could never be bettered. You may not recognize the voice, but I'm the fellow who walked in the library the night with a briefcase and a cardboard box of books on the Hindu religion when Sat Maharaj wanted to castigate you.
All right.
You remember the person?
Not really. Not really.
All right. I was there that night.
Okay.
But something I want to find out. What about Tangla?
Tangla died?
He died.
Yeah.
All right. And I want to say this, and I know a lot of people are going to be vexed with me. In this, between 1960 to 1970, they had a flock of Calypsonians from South.
Yeah.
That was the best. Duke, Shorty, Stalin.
Composer.
Right?
Yeah.
They came to Port of Spain, and they taught the Calypsonians in Port of Spain to sing Calypso.
Well,
all right. I'll put you on a spot. If he was a judge, this Dimash Grand night, Jahaji Bai, and they look for that, which one you would have given the first prize to? Have a pleasant night.
Okay. We like those rhetorical questions. Hot Caribbean Tempo 105 FM, the station for all generations. And when you hear Calypso, just remember, it is We Think.
Trinidadians playing, they love their own thing. Foreign songs we digging, but Calypso wasting. Anything the Yankees do, we only want to do. As a new song in Trinidad, we forget Calypso and dig it so like we mad. So when you hear Calypso, don't pretend you don't know. It's we thing, we very own thing. When you hear us steel band, Mass and Para, it's we thing, we very own thing. Go ahead and dig, don't fall. So, but no matter what you're digging, don't forget, we think. Go down to Guyana, Barbados, Jamaica. They're so self-conscious, it's outrageous. Guyana legalize opium, Jamaica reggae the all over. Just tell a Bajan fella he queer. He gon' say, I proud to know he invented there.
Hot Caribbean Tempo 105 FM, the station for all generations. That when you hear Calypso, Steel Band, Limbo, when you see Limbo, Chutney, Soca, Ring Band, Jamun, it's We Thing, our very own thing. And in fact, coming up on the 27th of April, the JMC organization will be honoring the Indo-Caribbean art form, and on that evening, Gaffy Blackman will be honored as a pioneer of soca. And on the line, we have the band behind it all, Mr. Mohan Jaikaran of JMC. Welcome to Hot Caribbean Tempo 105 FM.
Thank you very much, Sookram.
Okay, and now that we are back on same time, we are no longer daylight saving time.
Sure,
easier to be on sync.
Earlier in the week.
Yes, you were a little mixed up. Yes, but Sprangalhang was quite mixed up. He came to work an hour late. That's a different story. We have Shorty with us, and this evening for 3 hours, we are featuring the music from 1963 to 1996, and Shorty has a chance to chat one-on-one with some of our listeners, and we're happy to have you to tell us a little more about Shorty, the pioneer, who will be honored from your point of view.
Well, I think, he deserves every bit of the honor he's going to get on the Indo-Caribbean Music Award on April 27th at Queen's Hall, because basically he was the pioneer who fused this music between the soca and the Indo-Caribbean Indian music and make it what it is today.
Yes.
I mean, and I feel personally, and my committee, that's why we decided to give Shorty the award.
Well, and this evening we are trying to show that transition. We played 1966 Indian Singers Gone for Hired, 1973 Indrani, Endless Vibration, and coming up things like Sweet Music. But Shorty, maybe you can chat a little bit with Mohan here.
Mohan, how are you going?
All right, not bad.
All right, is it cold out there?
No, the weather is, it's not that cold. I mean, Chicago, I was talking to somebody in Chicago earlier today was 0, which is not normal this time of the year. But in New York today was about 50 degrees, which is quite cool. It's you're usually supposed to be around 60.
Okay. I want to say that I'm thanking God on your behalf for this Indo-Caribbean award, music award that you all are doing, and I feel very good about the honor that you all are bestowing upon me for the work that I have done in the past. I am very happy to be the pioneer of it and to be the forerunner of this whole thing, and I hope that it will go the distance.
Well, that's my dream personally, and, I've been trying this for the last 15, 16 years now. As a young man and living in North America, and our music has to be broadened and get across the world, and I'm trying to do my part of it, and I hopefully the people will do their part in Trinidad by coming out and showing their support on April 27th for this, this great event, the Indo-Caribbean Music Award. We have a spectacular show put together for them. I don't think Trinidad will ever forget this show when it's all finished, because it's something that I just come from working on it for the last 2 nights, till 1, 2 in the morning. My staff, in New York, we're bringing on a Broadway producer, Mr. Guilford Garrow is the, who's writer and producer of the program. We have technical directors of Broadway, lighting directors, graphic directors, coming in next week to put the show on in the Queen's Hall.
Mohan,
you deserve it.
Yes. Well, one point before you leave, only recently we heard that the organizers of the Grammy is behind you, what you're doing.
Definitely, we talked to Mr. Green, and he's behind us. So next year we certainly will get an endorsement from the Grammys, which is a very big plus to us. And we are bringing some, people that won the Grammys in music. We're going to bring down Bill Salter, who won a Grammys, for being a writer and a producer of music in the past. We're bringing a movie producer, Grace Blake, who has done a lot for the entertainment and movie industry and music industry in America, is coming down to this award.
Well, Mohan, it was nice chatting with you, and before Shorty has the last word with you, next Wednesday at this time, we will be featuring Sundar Purple, who will also be honored in some way, and we will very much appreciate it if you are here to give us a call at this time, whether you're in New York or in Trinidad.
I'll be joining you guys in the warm weather because I really need it.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to having to hearing from you or Rennie next week at this time, and maybe we can chat a little more before Saturday about that show. Garfield has the last word with you.
Well, keep up the good work.
Well, we're trying our best, and we, as again I mentioned, we just need the support from the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and we are fortunate to get the government support, the TITCO people. BWI has given us some support, and we're coming down, and you're going to see something very spectacular.
All right.
Thank you so much, Mohan Jaikaran of JMC Records.
Because if we are to see a brighter tomorrow, we need help from God. We need His help to ease the frustration and hate that this world is so filled with today. We need love and togetherness to find peace.
Walking hand in hand.
27 minutes on the upswing to 11 o'clock inside hour 2. 3 hours of the music of Garfield Blackman on Hot Caribbean Tempo 105 FM. Garfield 1975, very few Calypsonians were making an album, yet you had an album for Carnival and a MIDI album.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that the music got out there, and as a producer, I felt that the local music should never be just for Carnival. So I produced an album, a local album, not so much with calypso, but with soca vibrations and a mixture of reggae. As a matter of fact, this was the only reggae song on the album. All the rest was soca, doing sentimental songs.
Okay, some of the other songs on that album.
When Will It Come? Who Is She? Ella Andel's Second Fiddle, Love in the Caribbean by Ricky Gibson. Come Go With Me by the Groovy Millers, I Wonder by Lord Shorty. I Who Have Nothing, Different People. This song by Ricky Gibson, and Spend My Life With You with the Groovy Millers, 10 pieces.
We are upfront and personal with Garfield Blackman, Hot Caribbean Tempo 105 FM, where 7 by 24 by 366 in 1996. This is full-time loving of our culture.
Tempo, Caribbean tempo, but chunky, soca, reggae, salsa, tempo, Caribbean tempo, tempo, Caribbean tempo.
Sweet music, I'm feeling your mind and your body, let's get this music, 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 yeah. Sweet music, hey, hey, hey. No matter what you say or do, the magic of my music gets you. Music, yeah. Sweet music, hey, hey, hey. Take it, take it. I try to be totally musical. Music. That's why, you see, I'm super sensational. The spirit of music possesses me entirely, bringing out naturally from within my soul sweet musical harmony from beyond this world. And I make music, yeah. Hey, 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 hey. Sweet music. I'm feeling your mind and your body, just like this is music, 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 yeah. Sweet music, yeah. No matter what you say or do, the magic of my music gets you. Music, 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 yeah. Sweet music. Music, 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 yeah. Revolution in song is my goal. A rhythm for the young and the old. Pulsating, exciting, music to jump, music to romp.
Endless Vibrations Part 2 turned out to be some pretty sweet music.
True. If you listen in this, you would see, you would feel the East Indian rhythms much stronger than in Endless Vibrations. I really wanted to bring out what I was feeling within me in the song.
Would you say Sweet Music was your biggest hit in terms of sales, in terms of popularity?
Endless Vibrations.
Endless Vibrations outsold Sweet Music.
Yes.
But what was significant about Sweet Music in terms of the international breakthrough?
Well, a lot of people heard it. It was played much more outside. The sales outside was bigger than Endless Vibrations, actually. But basically, I'm speaking about at home. Endless Vibration was a bigger seller.
But sweet music opened the doors for you in
throughout the
Western
Caribbean,
communities, throughout the United States.
Yes.
Okay, it was rumored that around that time, 76, and we must look at what was happening on parallel music in the region. 76, around the time Bob Marley would be now singing the live version of No Woman No Cry. It was rumored that Chris Blackwell of Island Record, who really gave Bob Marley that international part of his career, was interested in Lord Shorty.
Yes. As a matter of fact, I got a letter from him in 1975 concerning Endless Vibrations. But when he heard the music and he realized it was done on 8 tracks, he wasn't quite interested anymore. We had no discussions about anything further except to say, well, he liked the music and he will talk to me again, but we never really took it any further than that. It is also rumored that he offered me something and I outpriced myself in the market, which wasn't true. We had no talk about money whatsoever.
But at that time he was interested in Caribbean artists, and maybe he was looking for some other Bob Marley.
Yeah, I met him in '76 in his office in New York City, and he played the tape. I had the master tape for it. He played it, but it didn't go any further than that. We never had any discussion about it after that. He was supposed to get back to me, and he never did.
Okay, at that point in your career, '76, you already were singing for some 13 years. And you have developed from a good way from a clone of Sparrow to the Love Man, Lord Shorty. Where did you see your career going there?
Definitely on the international market, yeah. Mm-hmm. I knew that I was on the verge of breaking through. I knew that I was going to do that, but God had other plans for me.
Mm-hmm. I will you talk about that a little more. Okay, well, it's just about 80 minutes on the upswing to 11. We'll take a couple more calls before we get back to the music. Up front with Garfield Blackman. Good evening.
Good afternoon, Sookram. I'd like to say hello to Shorty.
How are you, my dear?
I'm fine, thank you, and yourself? I'd like to wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
And hope you continue going as you're going.
Amen.
And I'm a fan of yours. And that tune you just sang, I enjoyed very much. The first time I heard it was when I was in Canada.
That's sweet music.
That's right.
All right.
In the 70s,
yes.
There was a independence party you had there, and you were there.
Okay.
Aside from Trinidad.
I remember.
So you remember that?
Yes.
Right. So you just keep up.
God bless you there.
Same to you there.
Thanks for calling.
Bye-bye.
No matter what you say or do, the magic of my music gets you music, yeah. Sweet music.
6286118, you're up front and personal, one-on-one with Garfield Blackman. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Ron Shorty. I don't know if you recognize his voice. I'm Brother Marvin's wife.
Okay.
Hey, great.
Not bad, not bad.
How long I trying to get through?
Where Marvin?
Here outside there,
All
representing the country.
Oh, you singing tonight?
Yes, not tonight, tomorrow.
Where?
St. Martin.
All right.
Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely.
So how are you doing? How is the family?
They okay.
All right.
I wish you all the best.
Yes, sir.
All the best.
I know that's coming from the heart.
It is.
Say good night to Sparkle for me.
Yeah, she just finished lessons and going to bed.
That's nice, that's nice.
And hello to the wife and the rest of the family.
Yeah.
Say hello to the little ones.
Thanks for calling us.
Keep the soca strong.
All right, keep us in your prayers.
Okay, I will. Bye.
Within my soul, sweet musical harmony from beyond this world. And I make music, yeah. Hey, 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 hey.
Tempo, you're up front with Shorty.
Yeah. Brass Shorty eye.
How you going, man?
How are you going?
All right.
All right. Now, as you would know, there has been a lot of discussions, even arguments. Just hold a second.
Hold a second, Bramble. While you turn down the radio, and remember, we're asking all listeners, when you call, turn down your radio as low as possible. You can hear us on the telephone, and we'd like you to make your contribution as short as possible so we can get through as much music as we possibly can and taking as many callers as we can in that break. So we're asking you to make your contribution as brief as possible. Okay, your answer.
Yeah. No, as I was saying, that there's always this controversy, this discussion, this argument as to the inventor or creator or developer, whatever it is, of soca, with yourself and Maestro. If you could, set the record straight once and for all.
Well, the record...
And secondly, that you could give a definition or an explanation or a description of what is soca.
Okay.
Okay?
Soca...
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let me start with the description, if I may.
Well, what happens that next week you'll be playing soca, so we can discuss it there, but maybe you can talk about the Maestro and Watson part now. Yes.
Maestro in 1973 never believed that the music that I was doing could make a breakthrough. He always criticized me for the combination of African and East Indian music. As a matter of fact, Maestro was very strong in black, with black music. And he would always say, black man, this thing you're doing with Indian and African music, it can't make at all. It wasn't until 1976, after I did sweet music, that the music hit Maestro. And he came to me and asked me to produce a song for him at KH Studios. I didn't do it because I told him that his producers will have to pay me to handle it. For him, I will do it because he's my friend. But when he went to his producers, they decided they were not going to pay me any kind of money to handle his production. However, they played the tape that I had in the studio, and they copied the music from Sweet Music to what's the name of the song? Savage. If you listen to Savage and Sweet Music, you would hear Sweet Music, all the chants that I had in Sweet Music, you hear it in Savage. It's basically the same thing. Maestro was the first singer after me to continue with the soca movement, and that's as far as Maestro's contribution to soca is concerned.
How about people like Ed Watson?
Same thing. After Ed Watson's first soca song came in November of 1976. He wrote the music for Endless Vibration, but then soca music is not just a horn lines or anything like that, and that's what Ed Watson used to do for me in those days. He never handled my rhythms. All my rhythms, I did them myself. And Ed Watson's band couldn't play soca at all. As a matter of fact, in 1975-74 in the studio, we spent almost all day trying to do Zina in soca, and it couldn't be done. And the next day, we had an argument, and I fired him, and I brought in Arthur Koto, who handled the playing of Endless Vibration. So it wasn't Ed Watson who did it. In somewhere down in 1976, I think November, he did a soca piece, and the music continued.
Well, I suppose that answered Clyde's first question. The second part, if Clyde, you could bear with us, after this selection, O Trinidad, we will be playing a song which introduced the word soca, and I'm sure all our listeners are waiting for that explanation from Garfield Blackman.
Trinidad, oh Trinidad, times are rough, times are hard. Your sons and daughters every day, leaving home, going away. But those of us who remain frustrated like hell, some of us going insane, some locked in a cell. Wake up from your slumber, our future is in danger. Too much wanting is good for nothing. If you have a hernia that can't get better, if the breadwinner of your family making errors continuously, it's the thing to do. He care for you. Your Caribbean sisters watching all your blunders. They say you live too long with he, they condemn you openly. They say you are stagnated, making no progress. Your children are frustrated, your home in a mess. He making love to China and leave you here to suffer. Too much wanting is good for nothing. If you have a hernia that can't get better.
From 1976, from the album Sweet Music, O Trinidad, Garfield, a serious political statement, a stinging attack on your old foe, the late Dr. Eric Williams, the then Prime Minister. Was it?
In this song?
Yes.
Yeah. True. Well,
but the way you said it there, you know, you looked at a long period of rule by saying if it ain't working, the phrase and the ideology. There's a bit of humor there, but it is a serious political statement.
Yeah. I was never much on political songs, but I decided to do this one somewhere in '96. Actually, my friend Dr. Ivan Perret, was going up for election, and he asked me to do a song, and I did this for him.
What party Ivan Zevran from?
Not MOP or something.
Oh, but definitely couldn't be the ruling party.
No, I can't remember the name of the party now. It's so long, you know. But I was looking at the political climate at that time, and I decided to make a song on what was happening, you know. And when you listen to this song now, it is as though I'm singing for this time.
Yes, yes. Music is always so relevant.
Yes,
okay, well, we are looking at the period 1963 to 1996, the musical contribution of Garfield Blackman, and our caller asked a two-part question. One about the input of people like Maestro, and even now people are talking about Ed Watson in terms of the creation of soca.
But we went further on that, man. We're talking about the boy from Guyana now.
Oh, that cold guy. Well, that will take an entire night to really look at that. Well, neighbor, but what can one say? But to answer the second part of that question, in 1977, the world, you introduced to the world the word S-O-K-A-H, the title track from your 77 album.
Yeah, Soca, the soul of Calypso. Not soul Calypso, but the soul of, the depth, the inner man, the sweetness, the beauty, the love of Calypso. This is what this whole combination of East Indian and African rhythm was meant to project. The depth, the love, the soul of Calypso.
Okay, so you coined that word?
Yeah, S-O-K-A-H. It was eventually brought into S-O-C-A, which I had no problem with.
But the K-A-H, the origin of that?
That represents the Ka in the Hindi alphabet, to show that it was a combination of two ethnic rhythms.
This album, 77, it did not sell as much as Endless Vibration and Sweet Music.
No.
But how important was it in terms of documenting soca?
Well, very important to me. As a matter of fact, this album brought about, showed the change that was actually happening in my life at that time, because around 1977, I was going through a lot of changes, spiritual changes within my soul, you know. And this album expressed a lot of that.
Garfield, once again, for the records and for all the skeptics, the critics out there, let's document that again. The word soca, you coined the phrase S-O-K-H. At what point did it become S-O-C-A? And who
It became S-O-C-A somewhere around 1976 with a story on the Mirror. I think it was written by Ivor Ferreira.
1978. Because this song was 77, the album Soca.
Okay, somewhere around that time, probably right after this album. Okay, yes, true. After the 77 album, and Ivor Ferreira had the story on one of the newspaper, the weeklies, and he wrote the song as S-O-C-A. I never protested because to me it still said Soca.
But isn't that a bit strange? Because Ivor Ferreira at that time, was he the guy who worked at 610 Library?
Yes, he was.
Well, he should have had a copy of the album to consult.
Yes, he did.
Isn't that strange?
I don't know. Yes. I never worried about it, you know.
Yeah.
You see, the whole soca movement is what we call chutney today, chutney soca, because that's where it began. And after that, it's like making the transition from the deep East Indian rhythmic structure, the East Indian instruments, to what we have now as traditional soca music.
Okay, so just to get that record straight, the word soca, you came up with it, the soul of calypso.
Yeah, S-O-K-A-H.
Combining soul and the ka in Hindi. Yeah. The music, you took the Indian rhythms and you married it with the calypso rhythm.
Yes.
And that transition started way back 58. It was manifested in 66 with Indian Singers Gone for Hire. And 73.
74.
And for those of you who may have been swayed by other arguments, people like Arrow, Eddie Grant, Maestro, Ed Watson, they weren't playing anything close to that.
True.
So, if you look at, for the sake of argument, there should be no argument. Just look at the work. Look at the work.
Let's go back in history and play the music.
Go back in history.
You'll see
Okay. If you look at the way history unfolds, there's no need to argue. History cannot lie.
True.
History cannot lie.
Recorded history too.
Okay. So for the records, go back and check. So those of you who are saying that Arrow is the king of soca, he may be in some parts of the world, but surely he didn't invent it. The Iceman from Guyana, although he sang Neighbor, Neighbor, early 70s, definitely not the original soca.
Amen.
And we are upfront and personal with the father of soca. I had a couple calls to bring up this hour before we play for you the period 1978 to 1996. Good evening.
Good evening, just right.
Hi.
Well, tomorrow,
Hi,
just
Shorty.
right.
How are you?
I am calling to thank you for all the work you have done and what you are doing, and will continue to do.
God bless you.
Then. I have one question to ask you.
All right.
In 1994, was it 1993 or 1994? You was at the Semen Waterfront. It was the Thursday after Ash Wednesday, the day after Ash Wednesday, the Thursday, when NJAC had their program, Kings Go Forth. I was standing next to you.
All right.
And when Sparrow was replying to your calypso, that's good enough. And you just went off in a fit. You were just there laughing.
Yeah.
Why you laugh?
Well, he's humorous, so there was no need for me to be angry.
No, but you just went off in a fit. I was standing next to you.
Yeah, well, I had to laugh at the whole thing, because what was happening, it was just Sparrow was taking the part of the devil's advocate to sort of bring back my past,
right.
to say, well, Satan
you are guilty just as them.
But God has been good to me, and He has covered my sin by the blood of Jesus Christ. So I am a born-again Christian, not the same old man. So I had to laugh because I couldn't cry. Sparrow didn't understand that here was a man born again, and my past sins were covered by the blood of my past sins were covered by the blood of Jesus Christ. So I don't feel guilty of those things that were past, you see. So I can stand today under the banner of Jesus Christ and say to the Calypsonians, hey, wake up, there's something much better on the other side, and encourage them to come over and sing calypsos that can bless the nation rather than degrade it.
Right. So you intend using the rod and all the gum and wine and...
I intend doing what?
Using the rod.
Definitely.
Right.
The rod of correction, so that they whenever necessary, that they could wake up to the work that they have to do as Calypsonian in a growing nation, to build a nation. We have young people outside there that need something, and the Calypsonians have the ability to reach out and touch the nation. But if we continue in the direction we are going, then what is going to happen to our children tomorrow?
Calypso is to highlight the events of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I feel good about Calypsonians like Marvin, and some of the others. I think they are taking the Calypso in the right direction. And some of the young pioneers of Calypso, the young children, they are coming up and they are doing some fantastic work. And I am glad that I am able to influence them in doing songs that are beneficial for the upliftment of the nation.
Right.
Okay, thank you for calling, and thank you for making that important point, and talk to you on Thursday when Sprang will be back.
That's right.
It's exactly 11 o'clock, 2 hours down. 60 music-filled minutes still to come as we have a very special guest, dignitary, the father of soca, the king of creativity in terms of local music. Garfield Blackman, once he was known as Short G, Then Lord Shorty, now he is simply vast Shorty I. Upfront and personal with the ultimate selector, keeping you company until the Cinderella hour. Hot Caribbean Tempo 105 FM. 2 minutes after 11 o'clock, and this is your chance to be upfront with Garfield. Good evening.
Good afternoon to you, goodly gentlemen.
Hi.
All right, Shorty.
Hi, sister.
Good night. A special good night to you.
All right.
I want to thank you for carrying on all those good works. And I remember a couple of years back when I was much younger, like say 17, 18, I used to admire you. I used to go to the tent just to watch the expression on your face when you're singing. Watching in those bell-bottom pants, I think with your stomach open up and say yes. You know, and I mean, you have come a long way from that.
Thank God.
But I wonder if I'll ever see you looking like, I mean, not that type of clothing, but back to that, you know, pants and shit and thing again.
No, he's dead.
No?
No, he's dead.
He's dead?
Yes.
All right. Anyway, keep up the good work. Huh?
This is the new man.
A new man?
In Christ Jesus, yes.
All right. Keep up the good work.
Praise God. God bless
And at the same time I'm talking to you, I want to compliment Abby. I love her music also.
Good. And I'm sure that she's listening.
Yeah.
And I also want her to compliment her until I continue the good work too.
All right. Yes. And all the rest of the home circle too, though.
Oh, God bless you, sister.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, yeah.
Because he has set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he has known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show my salvation.
The workers of iniquity dig a pit for me. Now they're waiting for me to fall in, trying to take my bread and butter with lies and propaganda. But they're fooling, they're only fooling. I will not be afraid of what man can do to me. Man, you see, is only vanity. You see, who God bless, no man can. He shall never hunger or thirst. Who God bless, no man shall ever curse. He shall be first. He shall be first.
From 1979, from the album Soca Explosion, Who God Bless. Garfield, for most of your career, you have been always quite controversial. Was this a song to hit back at some of your critics?
Yeah, definitely. It was in a way that I was just expressing the prophecy of God in my soul, because around that time in 1978 when I received this song, and I stress received because I didn't write it, I received it. And it was the first time maybe I began receiving songs that I say, well, look, I didn't sit down and put my brain together and write this song. I was in my bedroom in Maribela and crying because a lot of people were saying, well, Maestro was the inventor of soca, and Ed Watson was the inventor of soca, and this one was the inventor of soca. And I knew that none of them had nothing to do with the music. So I was praying to God, saying, well, Lord, well, why is it that you know that I am the one responsible for this, and everybody is claiming it now, and I have nothing to say, I can't say anything. And the Lord just tell me, leave it, forget it, who God bless, no man shall ever curse. And this is how this song came into being. And the word was so powerful, the workers of iniquity dig a pit for me, and they're waiting for me to fall in, trying to take my bread and butter with lies and propaganda, but they're fooling, they're only fooling. I will not be afraid of what man can do to me. Man, you see, is only vanity, who God bless, no man shall ever curse. And the second verse is very powerful. Let's hear the second verse.
journey from Lord Shorty to Shorty I took you through several churches, several ideologies, even a little philosophy. Could you give us a brief synopsis of that journey?
Well, it took me from the Anglican Church to the Baptist Church to Hinduism to Buddhism to Islam, just searching for God. All I wanted to do was to find God.
And around this time, 79, you were involved with the School of Philosophy.
Yeah, I did philosophy at that time, and I left philosophy to live the Bible. After that, I took hold of the Bible and I decided to live according to the principles of the Bible. Even today, I am not a denominational Christian. I am a Christian, but not a denominational Christian. I seek to walk as Jesus walked and do what Jesus did, and according to the word, much more, to live as Jesus lived. Just as Jesus lived, I want to live identical. This is my passage in life, and I thank God that He who formed me in my mother's womb was able to call me out of darkness and shape my life in a new direction to make me a living example to the people in this world that a man can come from hell and live a heavenly life in this present life and glorify his God and show forth his praise in a wicked and perverse generation.
In that search, was there a specific point when you realized you had the answer, or was it a gradual transition?
I was reading. I used to read a lot, and I had the Gita, the Quran, the Upanishads, the Vedas, a whole lot of books along with the Bible. And I was on the line in Maribela reading from the Bible. And that day, the Holy Spirit convicted me of sin, of righteousness, and of judgment. Because for the first time in my life, I realized that I was a sinner. I never knew I was a sinner before. I never thought of being a sinner. But that moment, I was convicted in my heart that I was a sinner and I had no right to be alive. And what I did was cry out to God to have mercy upon me, because I didn't know I was so wretched. I did not know I was so wicked. I was so sinful. And God had mercy upon me and led me to Jesus Christ. Right then, the following year, 1980, I got baptized in the name of Jesus Christ, and I've been walking according to his principles ever since then. And I hope never, ever to depart from the ways of truth, because I know in the presence of God there is pleasures evermore. And the joy of the Lord is the strength of his people. I give thanks to Jesus for calling me and giving me an opportunity to be of service to him.
10 minutes after 11 o'clock, wonderful stuff, up front and personal with Garfield Blackman, Ras, Shorty I. And one thing we learned from this is that next time you have an argument, bring out the facts and look at it, and there may be no argument. 1979, the album Soca Explosion, Soca Fever, big hit, Who God Bless, an important song, but there was a song that lived on, Shanty Om. And before we play for you Shanty Om, let's play a bit of a song that came out of India. From 1979, the album Soca Explosion, Shanty Om. But Garfield, before we talk about that Shanty Om, Kishore Kumar and chorus, Om Shanty Om.
It's the same song. It is what you call an infringement of copyright. Kishore Kumar came to Trinidad around that time, and I was invited to a farewell party, and I went and I presented him with one of my albums. I won artist to next, and the next thing I heard is this song come out with Om Shanti, but his name, two people's name is upon it, and not mine, as the composer of the song. I complained to the PRS about it, and they wrote back and say, well, look, India is a law unto itself, and it's impossible for them to go into India to collect my royalties, because this thing has sold millions. You know, and even up to the day, I am still behind them to go into to India and get my money. You know, because it's not mine alone, it was written by Steve Batley and myself. But so far, nothing, no movement on it. I'm trusting God.
Shanty Om. You took an Indian mantra once again, or at least something from Hinduism.
Yeah, but the melody is definitely mine. The melody is not anything that came out of this. You know, I just have the lyrics and I put music to it.
Okay. But how important the song was that? At that point, did you see it as a song that can influence the thinking of the masses by bringing a sense of wisdom and conscience instead of people?
The desire was to write another song to bring Africans and Indians together, but this time I wanted to make it a spiritual song rather than an Indrani. So at the time, I was into the Hindu philosophy, so I constructed the whole chorus around this atmosphere, speaking about the ills of the society, seeing the society making materialism the god, and letting them know that such a thing is destructive to a nation, and they should seek to enter into something spiritual to build a nation. They still haven't heard.
from the album Sookram production, The Love Circle, We Have Love.
They will not call it Love Circle then, the Home Circle.
The Home Circle?
Yeah.
Garfield, that song is so important because I try to fit it. I've been to Marabella and I've been to Piparo, and that decision to leave Marabella and move to Piparo, I'm looking at it from your wife and children's point of view. That first night in Piparo, what was it like, and how difficult it was to convince Claudia and the children that it was the move to make at that point?
I had no problem with convincing them. As a matter of fact, they were excited to come to Piparo. You know, because I spent 3 months in Piparo building the house by myself, and the boys would come up on weekends and give me a hand. And the rest of the family were just waiting to come up to Piparo. You know, so when the house was completed, and after 3 months, they came up and it was just a joy. Everybody was so excited to be on this farm in the forest, and the mosquitoes big like cars.
They walk with ammunition and ammo.
But it was good, you know. I mean, it was a start for us in growing closer to God and understanding the principles of godliness.
And being a family.
Yeah, and being a family. And this song, We Have Love, is the first song that when I made the decision to work with my family as a group and bring my children out into music and leave off the hustle and all the madness about popularity and all of that.
Do you remember the first night that the entire family came to Piparo? What was it like? The first night, no electricity, pitch dark, in the middle of nowhere.
Well, for me it was a headache because I was up there, as I say, by myself for 3 months quiet, and this night it was just noise. Everybody was talking at the same time, so excited to be in the forest. You know, it's like a new experience. And it was a night that hardly any one of us would forget. It was just exciting, you know, making bake on a three-stone fire and that kind of thing, you know. For the children, it was like a picnic.
A picnic. Well, most of our listeners they have grown accustomed living with several doors, with several rows of burglar proofing, and they peep out of a brick. And maybe you can share with your listeners what your doors in your present home is like.
We have no doors, no windows, just a space. The house is open for anybody to come in at any time. And there's no fear of sleeping or fear of anything, because the scripture teaches us that the angel of God encamps round about them that fear him to deliver them. And we fear God, and we believe that the angel of God will always protect us from all danger and harm. So we just live, you know, freely, not worrying about anything at all. Know that our God is there looking over us. And
to exist comfortably without what we this part of Trinidad will consider basic necessities in terms of the utilities, a pipe-borne water supply, and electricity. You manage with all these things.
Yeah, I mean, for the last 14 years, we have no electricity, no pipe-borne water. I will go with my van out for water, or I will deal with water from the spring or the dam that I have. You know, and it's a nice life. You know, it's
electricity is not a problem.
No, not really. You know, we have been doing our music for years, practicing with acoustic instruments, and it has done good for us because the children are able to listen more because the guitars are soft, and it has caused them to sing stronger in the environment that they are in. You know, it has been good for us as a people doing music.
Well, for the record, once again, living without electricity, living without a pipe and water supply, living in a house without doors. And how far is your closest neighbor?
About a quarter mile on each side.
Right. It is a peaceful existence, if you like that sort of thing.
You know,
I spent a day up there, and it was thoroughly enjoyable.
Today, I had a visitor who came for the first time in Piparo. And I saw this woman come up the hill, breathing hard and bawling, oh God, oh God. Oh, I said, Madam, what happened? She was afraid, you know, because she walked all this distance and there was no houses and nobody. And she was wondering whether she was in the right place, and you know, and she saw me, she was so relieved. Can I go inside? And she went inside and sit down on the park with my wife and eat the fish.
Luckily, she didn't attempt to close the door.
But after when she was about ready to leave, she was, I mean, thoroughly enjoying herself, realizing, well, look, all the things that she heard about Piparo and about Shorty, it was totally different. She wasn't expecting what she saw at all.
In
situation. Foodstuff scarce, so the price is fierce. To maintain a family, oh Lord, it ain't easy. Trinidad, getting hard. Boy, you go mad. Plant the land, plant dashing and cassava. Plant the land, some big and sweet pepper. Plant the land, plant this and cucumber. You say we have money from oil, and oil money don't spoil. But I want to see you eat money when the grocery empty. You should be eat plant sweet potato, a row of tomato, yam and a hill, and you know that you go eat tomorrow. I tell you so, plant the land, plant the land.
Your main pastime in Piparo is exactly what this song is all about.
Planting the land. I started in 1979 and I've never stopped. It's a blessing for my family and I to be planting the land and enjoying the fruits of our labor. I think I should take this time off to say hello to my wife and the children, wherever you are listening in, and to Rebecca for visiting me today. And I want to take this opportunity to say hello to my friend Brian Skinner. I'm so sorry about your problem, brother, and I pray God will strengthen you.
Up front and personal with Garfield Blackman, Ras, Shorty, I. From the 16 Commandments to Plant the Land, Sookram's front. Was it a commentary on yourself or in general, the love of a calypsonian?
In general, and the attitude of the radio station is even from 1980 to 1996, we still have the problem. We have 11 radio stations, and there's only one that is concerned about the local music. All the rest is gone to the American and Jamaican format, and they leave our music to front. You know, this is totally irregular. I mean, when you look at it, all the money that we should be making is going out to the foreigners, and we in Trinidad making no money, and still the radio station say that our music is not up to standard. How could our music be up to standard when they don't play our music so that we can get royalties to improve on our musical standards?
Rockers and disco, Sookram's planting. Lord, the Sookram's planting. Only foreign music they're playing, and I'm planting. I'm planting. The spirit of your own music song, and you want to replace it with a foreigner song. I say IT for line a Babylon I music getting nice, so I feel it to cry. Sookram's planting.
Garfield, this is a battle I know you have been fighting for a long time. What will be the ideal situation for you in terms of radio stations? Now we have about 11 or 12, their airplay, their restrictions, and their openness to the music.
Well, Trinidad is ours, and we need to claim it as ours. You know, it's hard to think that our young people who may desire to do music, and there's a lot of young singers and young musicians out there, there is no future for them in Trinidad as musicians. All they can do is to copy the American singers, the Jamaican singers, and during Carnival season make a wine and jam. I mean, that's no future for us. So it's a painful situation. I believe that right now the local music is getting about 5% play on a weekend. I am saying give us 95% and give the foreigners 5%. We're doing better than they're doing for us right now. If we give the foreigners 5%, they're still getting more than we are getting now, because we are getting none at all, except for tempo. You know, and it's time that we begin to become Trinidadians. If we are fighting for national unity, then we need to begin giving the children an identity as Trinidadians. You know, a particular radio big man tell me that the children prefer to hear Shaggy Run than to hear Shorty. No, I can't accept it at all, because what they're giving the children is Shaggy Run. The children are asking for Shaggy Run. They are feeding the children the Jamaican music and the American music, and that's what the children know. I mean, even the gospel situation, you've only American gospel. Gospel music is simply the gospel in music, and God is calling every nation, people from every nation, from every kindred and tongue. So then why I, as a Trinidadian, have to become Americanized to be singing gospel music? This is totally wrong and erroneous as far as gospel principles is concerned. That is for the gospel situation, and I'm calling upon the Attorney General, because this is a human rights thing. This is musical apartheid, because what you do, you take away my freedom of expression. I cannot speak to my people. I cannot help my people. And I think it is about time that the government step in and pass legislation that each radio station must play local music.
And what percentage you're comfortable with for all radio stations
60,
across the board?
60%.
60-40.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you see from an economic point of view that our present 11 radio stations can survive 60-40?
Why not? Why not? I mean, right now the foreigners getting 100%.
But should we wait for government to do it? Couldn't you see radio stations do it on their own?
Well, probably with Californian, I don't know about the Californian, but me, I thinking about picketing or going on a fast or some kind of thing, because...
Well, talking about fasting, because you know what's happening now. Before I do that, maybe we should talk to Sprang. He is now TUCO's president, and maybe we can fight some of the battle before this fasting, because now there is a situation with the fast that's happening there that I don't think is going the way
well,
it should go.
Well, Jesus Christ fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. I am a Christian. When I trust in Jesus Christ and I fast for something, I know my God will answer me. And not with sickness, but with power and with strength to overcome the enemy, because what I'm seeking to do is to save a nation. Save a nation. And I'm not saying that people will come up with arguments, well, you're going to have jam and wine right through the end. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that we have jamu, we have soca, we have rapso, we have panjaz, we have steel band assembly, you have chutney, you have bingi. You could name, you have gospelipso, you have several types of music in this country. There is no other nation in the Caribbean with as much musical energy and talent as we have in Trinidad and Tobago. And to see that the radio stations are only playing foolishness from Jamaica and America, I can't deal with that at all. I find it's time that we have to do something, and if the government will step in, then I personally would begin to do something.
Okay.
This is war as far as I'm concerned.
As far as tempo is concerned, could you give us any of your recommendations?
Tempo is doing fine. Keep
fine.
going. You're the real McCoy. This is from the time you began, you stay online. I listen to your programs all the time, and this is what Trinidad needs. And if they don't have the music, let them check out Tempo. They're gonna get some.
At Caribbean Tempo 105 FM, upfront and personal with Ras Shorty I. We have moved from 1963 to 1980, and a point where Garfield took a break from 80 to 84. When he come back, Lord Shorty matured into Ras Shorty I. 28 on the upswing to midnight.
I waited patiently on the Lord, and he inclined unto me and heard my cry. He brought me up also out of a horrible pit, out of the miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock, and established my goings. He had even put a new song in my mouth, even praises unto our God. Many shall see and fear, and shall trust in the Lord Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
This music was given to I through the inspiration of the Most High God, for the edification of the souls of man. In the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, whoa. Jamu, muja, jamu, muja, jamu, 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 muja, jamu, muja, jamu. He said, I will put a new song upon your lips, my son. Be not afraid, sing on. Sing the song of King Solomon. sing on. Sing on, sing the song of the son of Amos, Isaiah, sing on. Sing on, praises to the Most High God, sing on. Sing on, Jamu, Muja, Jamu, Muja, Jamu, Jamu, say, Jamu, Muja, Jamu, Muja, Jamu, oh, 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 yeah.
After Plan the Land and Sookram Scrunting in 1980, you went into some sort of withdrawal and resurfaced in 1984 with Jamu. You also came back as Ras Shorty. When last we heard from you, you were Lord Shorty.
Yeah.
What happened from 1980 to 1984?
I was born again in 1980, and I was learning to live a Christian life, to be a minister of the gospel with my music and teaching my children, forming my group, the Love Circle, building my family life, my family ministry, that we could do what we have to do when the Lord calls us to do it, you know. 1984 was a point where I believe that I was strong enough to come out and say what I wanted to say, to glorify the name of Jesus, because it's not easy for any Calypsonian to come out in the mainstream and let people know that Jesus Christ is Lord. I mean, they think I was a madman. I mean, they did say I was a madman. I am a madman. So I know that I had to wait until God was ready for me to come out with my ministry, and I thank God that I have not stopped since then. Some people say, well, he's coming back what? I've been there. I've never left, you know, except that I left for a while for the transition to be made, and when I was born again, now here I am doing what God has called me to do.
Jamu, music.
Jehovah's music. Jehovah M-double music. Instead of M-U, M-double, Jamu. It is the music of Jesus Christ. It is born again soca.
Walking with that man, oh, 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 oh. If a man don't love, he dead. If a man don't love, he dead, dead. If a man don't love, he dead. I say he dead, dead, dead. He dead, dead, dead. Walking with that man, if you love the children, man, teach them about the Creator's plan. Don't wait. It may be too late. Don't hesitate. If a man know love, he's dead. If a man know.
From 1984, Jamu, and from 1987, If a Man Do Have Love, He Dead. Up to 1980, you felt it was important to put out as much work out there as possible, at least an album a year.
Yeah.
But from 80, you realized that was not the top priority again.
No, it was a problem to have money, you know, not having the money and having to find a way. For me, it was like learning to live by faith, because all these records were done basically by faith. God opened the doors for me, and I had to learn to trust Him and to go and do what I had to do. And I found the people who were able to put out money or whatever and help me with the productions. I'm still doing that even up to this day.
So after 84, Jamu, it took 3 years. If a Man Do Have Love, He Dead.
Yeah.
But If a Man Do Have Love, He Dead. You're saying If a Man Do Have Money, He Dead. It's not the same, because you have something bigger than that, more powerful than that.
If a man don't have love, he dead, not money.
Yes.
Because money answered all things, but love or wisdom is even greater, because it gives life. Love gives life. Money don't.
Okay, well, before we open the line once again for a couple of callers, I know you're trying to get on. Let's look at the 1988-89, an album that really brought Ras Shorty and the Love Circle back to the fore in terms of popular music in Trinidad and Tobago. And it started with a live recording at where was it, at the stadium?
Boxia Calypso Theatre in 1989.
Watch Out My Children, when that song came to you?
1988, actually. I was walking down Charlotte Street, and I saw a lot of young people lost on drugs, and I wanted to reach out to them. I didn't think I had the strength to lay my hands upon them and bring them back to their senses. So the only other alternative was this song, Watch Out My Children, that God placed upon my heart. while I was writing a couple of songs for Ella Andal and for Boy Mitchell, I received this.
My son and my daughters, to you I plead. Watch, don't get no horrors, but please take heed. I know you don't want no sermon, but my admonition is to guard you against all the evils of life that create strife and destroy life. Walk cautiously, children, be alert, because you have an enemy that's roaming the earth. I know you're young and restless, but you don't have to be careless. You see, sober thinking leads on to righteousness, to happiness, spiritual bliss. That's why I tell you this. Watch out, my children. Watch out, my children.
1975, when will it come? Peace in the world. 1979, who God bless. 1979, we have love. And 1988-89, watch out, my children. The music was there all the time. The message in the music.
True. You know, God had just brought it forth to the people at opportune time that they could receive what they had to receive. Looking back now, I knew that God was with me all the time. At the time, I couldn't see it, you know, but now looking back through the eyes of the Holy Spirit, I know that God was there with me, teaching me, blessing me, and leading me on.
Good evening, you're up front with Garfield Blackman.
Good night to you, Mr. Blackman, and good night to your host.
All right.
Garfield, I just want to say that it was a breath of fresh air hearing you this year again.
Okay.
I have one question of you, however. The Lord said, render your hearts and not your garments. I'm wondering why the change in tab when you can give your soul still.
First off, the scripture didn't say render. It said rend, which is to tear. Your heart and not your broken heart and a contrite spirit, not the garment. So you're misquoting.
Okay, I stand corrected. Okay.
The garment, my garment, however, is that I believe that I must, if I have fellowship with the Lord, then I ought to walk also even as He walked, not just in spirit, but both spirit, soul, and body. So and in Jesus Christ didn't wear pants and shirt, and in the new creation, it shows the children of God standing before the throne of God with palms in their hand, dressed in robes. So then I say, if Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever, then I, living a Christian life, ought to be able to reflect my God in this creation, in this time that we live in.
Yeah, I just wanted to sort of,
okay,
understand exactly where you were coming from, you know.
Yeah. Well, a man must be able to give an answer of the hope that is in him.
Right.
You know, so this is what I'm doing.
Thank you so much.
But I have an appeal to you, though. I'd like you to please stick with us and give us some more of your calypsos.
Okay, I definitely intend to, and I pray that God would strengthen me to do what I have to do, because He has called me, and I know it is for a time such as this.
Okay, God bless you.
Okay, brother.
Thank you. Garfield, that is a problem that might be unique to our people. If this evening we just played a sample, the music from 1963 to 1996, there is a wealth of music there.
Yeah.
Music for every occasion, every reason. Yet still our people insist that our engineers must keep giving them new stuff as they don't have anything to play. What do you account for that?
Well, it's the attitude, you know, the attitude of the people, that it's only carnival time you could play music, you play local music. And I am saying that this attitude must change with the radio stations, beginning with the radio stations. Because, I mean, what you're doing here is exceptionally good. It's a great thing. and the other radio station need to take pattern.
Good evening, Temple.
Good evening.
Hi.
Yes, David Sprang, you agreed to call once, so it means that you have forfeited your chance to call tomorrow.
No, this is not Sprang time, man. This is the master.
Well, if you make it short, we will accommodate you.
Shorty.
Yes, dear.
It is rumored that you composed Baron tune Helixi.
I did not rumored. I did it. I composed it in 1971. 70.
And I remember early, sometime in the 60s, they sing a calypso about politics.
In the 60s.
Sometime.
Yeah, probably. I did.
I remember a line was Anjamada from Faizabad.
Oh, that is female opposition.
Yes. Well, let me hear it now.
It was played. The third song that was played tonight.
Well, I was there. I went out.
Okay, thank you for calling.
Okay.
Bye. Hot Caribbean Tempo 105 FM. We are front and personal with Garfield Blackman. 1993, the first year you took up that rod of correction, which is quite prominent even to 1996.
They're good enough. What are you telling the nation, my Calypsonian brother? What are you feeding the young ones? Is it poison or nectar? Prancing up and down the stage like a madman on the rampage. All you're doing is looking for mileage, abusing your privilege. Sing better songs for the nation, my Calypsonian brother. Why that song never heard for one? It only makes man stronger. How long you gonna stay whining, whining, like waste is the only thing you can show when you're performing? That is disgusting. That ain't good enough.
To put things in perspective, 1992, the Mighty Sparrow won the Calypso Monarch singing Survival, an excellent commentary, and both of them, Shorty, in response, that is good enough. Why did you attack a man you idolized when you started your career?
Well, as far as an elder, a man with a doctorate. When you're an elder, when you're a child, you act like a child, you speak like a child, and you conduct yourself like a child. But when you become a man, then you ought to put away childish things. Sparrow is older than I am, so I believe that at his age, I mean he's 60 now, he should be teaching the young ones something more constructive than whining with his granddaughters.
And you're saying that ain't good enough?
Yeah.
He responded with the more the merrier, and the following year you said you were thinking.
Oh yeah. Because I know the nation will feel a singing because but if they feel so they're wrong, they're dead wrong. What they say about me don't matter. I'm a born again Christian and Jesus Christ is my Savior. In him I go shelter. But if what he's saying to you, what he's telling young people to do, that's how me blue. I beg still a blue. Confusing the children's mind, making them feel sex orgies are fine. In this day and time, when AIDS killing me behind, sling are you blind? You're thinking like you're drinking, or instead are you getting what you say?
Well, after both of them, that ain't good enough, the more the merrier, and you were thinking, did it affect your relationship with Sparrow in any way?
No, not really. No, we still talk, we still have a good relationship, you know. I just wanted them to know that I'm very serious about what I'm doing. This is not pecan for me, this is not kicks for me, this is a serious ministry that I am going to continue to encourage the Calypsonians to do what God has called them to do. You know?
1996, your song, quite controversial, and I was asked to ask you this question. Do you think you were justified in attacking the new generation of soca stars so harshly? Some people were saying they agreed with what you're saying, but maybe it could have been done in a gentler way. How stern did you administer that rod?
I don't think I'm being stern. I'm just being sure, and I'm being straightforward in my approach. You can't get a better composed calypso in 1996 than Latvian singers. You know, it's not that I'm trying to be harsh, as people say, but then when you face the truth and the reality of things, it may sound as though it is harsh. But if you have your children to correct you, correct them. You don't call them and say, well, you know, I want you to change. You tell them change.
I don't want them end up in jail, so I bring me round a correction for the jail. Preacher, yes, ma, come here, you singing Shahiba. Oh, from Shahiba, you singing preacher. Ajala, yes, ma, come here, you singing Excreta. Incredible Excreta, you singing Ajala. I want you to move a step further, you're still singing Tata. Or you said a Latin singer, messing up Miss Soca. Move over for the elder statesman of Soca. I come out to jam, jam on Lucifer. I pray to me Father for power to set things in order. He tell me go jam on Lucifer in the spirit and power of Elijah with brimstone and fire. He tell me go jam on Lucifer, cause all you that singing. The nation in trouble, and you the mouthpiece of the people irresponsible. All your own singing. I said I go to shit. I had to come out and retirement and sing because all you're making a mess of me thing. All your own singing. I said I go to shit. So much thing up in the north and south, and there's only way for you singing, but all your own singing.
Did you think it was necessary to actually name the young ones?
Well, yeah, you see, they're the forerunners. As a matter of fact, I mean, I could have called 10 or 15 different Calypsonians, but I deal with three. Three are the young ones who are the forerunners in the whole attitude, so that the others would listen. You don't necessarily chastise everybody, you chastise the ringleaders.
I made an example. But I know for a fact that they all admired you, and maybe they got into Calypso because of people like you, and they hold you in tremendous respect, and I'm sure they would have loved to be endorsed by you. Has this song put a strain on their relationship with you?
No, no. As a matter of fact, I called Iwa and Ajala and Preacher, and I asked them to play themselves in my video, and they all agreed.
well, I think we could end that debate right there.
God, you know.
That is that 1996 album. Let me just get it in. 1996. Shorty I and the Love Circle, the title track, Respect Woman by Ramraji. I think it is a beautiful track. Whenever we play it, people keep calling and asking more. Can you tell us a little more about it?
Well, it's I try to bring out the classical attitude in the East Indian music rather than the German wine. As you hear this part, it is Tintal, and the voice of Rajkumar Krishna Prasad is doing the front there, and on the inside. And I try to do a sort of duet with a prominent Indian singer, Ramraji Prabhu.
When you get a nice running waiter, you must give her respect and honor. Treat her like a queen, never abuse her. Like a flower, you must cherish her. Because woman is perfect woman. My companion, woman, need love and affection. Respect woman, data. Respect woman, higher. Your mother is a woman, your sister is a
Well, way back, and it seems a very long journey we have traveled so far. At 9 o'clock, we started with the 16 commandments, and ironically, it spoke about women and how they should be treated, and we are ending with respect woman. We have traveled from 1963 to 1996. Women so important in our lives. Our mothers, our wives, our sisters, our women. And the 16th commandment, I'm sure that you were not endorsing some of the things you said. It was a bit of pecan, a bit of commentary in society, and putting things in perspective. It is a nice way to wrap the program from woman to woman and ending with something like that.
Praise God. I am glad to be able to do a song like this because I believe that our women need to be respected, particularly by the Calypsonians. And this is one of the reasons why I choose to sing the song Respect Woman, because most of the songs is based upon disrespect and dishonor to woman. So I try to change it. Even in the soca chutney field, there's a whole lot of lambasting of the East Indian woman, and I think that is also bad.
But there's one woman you mentioned earlier on we would like to really say hello to and pay the respect to. That lady right home in Piparo now, Claudette, who must be a woman of tremendous substance.
Certainly, they don't make them like her anymore.
Claudette, if you're listening, all love from everyone here at Caribbean Temple and Garfield Blackman. Much respect, Claudette. Garfield, this song, do you plan to perform it anyway in the near future?
Yeah, I intend to do this song on the 27th at the Caribbean National Music Award. I also want to say that in the studio with me is Gary Guy, my son, who lives in John John.
Okay, Gary. Would Raju be performing the song with you?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, well, for those of you who have been with us since 9 o'clock, this is your final chance to ask Shorty that burning question. We just have just enough time to play, to take a couple more calls. So we are begging you to make it as brief as possible so we can accommodate a couple of you all. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Hi.
Shorty?
Yes, dear.
I have been trying to get through since the program started.
God bless you, got through.
This is Gary's teacher.
All right.
Your teacher, Gary.
Which one of the Gary?
Little Gary.
Oh, Gary Blackman.
Yes.
Okay. From Maribela.
Yeah, right.
All right. Now, how are you going?
Not too bad.
God bless you, love.
I really enjoyed the program.
Thanks very much.
And I want to congratulate you, but I also want to give some congratulations to Claudette.
Certainly.
She's really a strong woman.
Yes, she certainly is. And I say God bless her over and over and over again.
Yeah, give my regards
I'm
to
blessed.
all of them.
Yeah, God bless you, love. Thanks for calling.
Six 628-6118, your final chance to be upfront and personal this evening at least with the Garfield Blackman Ras Shorty Eye. Tempo, good evening.
Hello, good night.
Good night, dear.
Good night to Shorty Eye.
How are you doing, man?
I'm okay. I just called to tell you about the good work.
Thank you very much.
And I like your song.
All right.
God bless you.
Yeah, the same for you.
Respect woman.
Hello, good evening.
Oh, God bless. Let no man curse.
That's right.
Good night, Garfield Blackman.
All right, sister.
I'm in tears. God bless you.
The same to you.
You have really felt the spirit.
Yes,
Thank you. Thank you for
Glory
being
be to
here.
God.
Okay.
Thank God be to Jesus.
And thank you so much. What a note to end the 3 hours of music from Garfield Blackman.
Praise God.
Well, it's 20 seconds on the upswing to midnight, and this is where we have got to pack up shop. For the past 3 hours, we have been upfront and personal with Garfield Blackman. Next Wednesday, Sundar Popo. We trust you've enjoyed the music. Garfield, it has been a tremendous pleasure having you, and we live in the music.
Pleasure is all mine. I want to thank all the wonderful people who called in, and those of you who are still trying, because I know the phone is still ringing. Sorry we can't take all the calls. God bless you, and may the light of the countenance of God shine upon you through the grace of Jesus Christ our Lord.
This is the Ultimate Selector. Good night.
My system is rhythm, simplicity, and
If you don't dig the melody, you will dig the beat. I make music, yeah. Sweet music. I'm feeling your mind and your body, the sky is this music, 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 yeah. Sweet music, hey, hey, hey. No matter what you say or do, the magic of my music, yeah. Music, yeah. Sweet music, hey, hey, hey. Dig it, dig it. I try to be totally musical. Music. That's why you see I'm super sensational. Music. The spirit of music possesses me entirely, bringing out naturally from within my soul sweet musical harmony from beyond this world. And I make music, yeah. Hey, 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 hey. Sweet music. I'm feeling your mind and your body, the sky is this music, 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 yeah. Sweet music, yeah. No matter what you say or do, the magic of my music, yeah. Music, 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 yeah. Sweet music. Hey, 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 hey. Music, 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 yeah. Revolution in song is my goal. A rhythm for the young and the old. Pulsating, exciting, music to jump, music to run, anytime or anywhere when my music